Hi, Rob. Thanks for taking our calls today.
Hey, don't worry about it.
My question for you is, I understand that you wrote a journal when you first arrived in Oregon to write down your thoughts as Edward. Can you give any details on what you wrote, and if you had or could have written a journal for Cedric Diggory, what would you have written?
I don't know where this journal thing came from, but I just wrote tons and tons and tons. I had 4 or 5 versions of the script just with tons of notes in. Just because when you look at the character from an outside perspective, when you're like right at the beginning of when you're trying to figure out how to play it, it just seems totally and utterly impossible. And so it just took me a very, very long time to actually realize how to go about humanizing it at all, instead of, because if you just played it as this kind of enigma, then it would just be really boring. It wouldn't have anything behind it. So I was just trying to write down the exact meaning of every single line which he said in terms of the subtext, and just with Edward, there's so much subtext. I can't really think of anything specific that I would have written down. What would I have written with Cedric? With Cedric, I don't know. I felt very, very natural doing a lot of his stuff. I mean, I guess because it was my first really big thing, I guess I kept telling myself that it was like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Like, it doesn't matter if you just make up a bit of the line or something. So yeah, I don't know if
Do you feel you related more to Cedric then?
No, I mean, not really. I mean, I knew a guy just like Cedric when I went to school, and I was thinking about him a lot when I was doing that. But no, there's bits and pieces. But I related to a lot of stuff in Edward's character as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Sure, no problem.
Hi, this is Becca from Twilight Live.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm all right, thanks.
My question for you is, how do you get into the mindset of playing a character like Edward, who is only like not human, but he has non-human abilities and like mind reading and does weird things, and his skin is marble? Like, how do you feel that? How do you bring it to the screen?
I guess it's like, once you decide to play something, you just have to say, okay, these are the facts of the character, and you just have to commit to a belief in them. And so if it says this is you're reading minds, like, he's reading minds the entire time. So I kind of was trying to get that into my head, and but I mean, most of the time it's just a question of humanizing it. It's like every little aspect, like how would you as an individual behave, and think if, for instance, you were 1,000 times stronger than any other human being, or 1,000 times faster, and it suddenly come out of nowhere. I mean, just like you just normalize everything, and that's kind of what I try and do. Just try and make it relatable to some aspect of yourself.
All right, so much.
Hey, well, my question does seem kind of weird at this point. So I was watching the final episode of Primeval the other day, and I was wondering what your favorite dinosaur was.
My favorite dinosaur? Let me think of that. Probably a Diplodocus. I can really relate to a Diplodocus.
Hi, Rob. This is Kara from TwilightIsAnonymous.com. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer our question.
Okay.
We were wondering, since you prepared so much for Twilight by going to Oregon ahead of shooting, how will you prepare for New Moon since it's so much darker and more emotional?
I think I'm not entirely sure yet, but I've started to begin having ideas about it. I mean, it's annoying not knowing for certain when it would start shooting, but I don't really know. I mean, it's kind of like because I've already done Twilight and I did all that. I mean, there's definitely an element of the character sort of still inside you, and I definitely planned on doing at least new moon and eclipse, and so I kind of have an idea. A lot of things which I didn't play in Twilight, I think I can do in new moon. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know how I'm going to go about preparing. I think his image will be very different. Edward's image.
Okay, do you think it'll be easier to prepare for New Moon since you've already been so connected to the character of Edward?
I hope not, because when anything's easy, it's just boring. But I don't know. I mean, I'd be treating it like it was a completely separate thing anyway, because I mean, he's so different. There's so much of the facade of his mystique and everything cracks in New Moon. So he's a very, very different character, in my opinion, anyway.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, Rob.
Hey.
Our question for BellaandEdward.com is, how did Midnight Sun influence your portrayal of Edward, and can you give us any idea of what scenes from Midnight Sun are in the film?
There's not a huge amount. It's like a kind of, it didn't really influence. I mean, in a general way, I was thinking, like, why would this guy be so attractive, and also how can you seem as, I guess, attractive as you can to people who don't know the backstory to the book and stuff, just sort of general people. And I was thinking, like, there has to be, I always thought, especially for girls, I mean, I've always found that girls are more attracted to kind of the dangerous, like the wrong, and so I wanted to put in as much of the dangerous factor of Edward's state into the performance, and so like just kind of there's a very he's very tightly wound in a lot of places, and also like there's a fury inside him and a rage which he has very, very little control over, a lot of which was in Midnight Sun. I mean the only thing I really needed to know was like the extent of his reaction when he first meets Bella, which is in the first chapter of that, when he's very much considering killing, like he's weighing up his options of killing an entire school just so he can kill her and there's no witnesses, which is like, that, and he says that he's not saying it like it's a very distant possibility. He has to make his mind up about the whole situation in a matter of seconds. So I kind of wanted to put that more into the performance.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Gio from Twilight.org, and my question is, what made you want to audition for the part of Edward?
I don't know. I mean, I'd seen Into the Wild and I liked Kristen, and that was my major thing, because I mean, I'd only read the script. I really thought I wasn't going to get it anyway when I went in. I had absolutely no idea that I was going to get it. I thought it was kind of silly me even going into the audition, but I don't know. I just thought it was the way they were doing the audition at the director's house, just with the director and the actress. And I knew she was good. I knew Kristen was good, so I just went like as a normal audition. I mean, I really liked how it went, and it changed my whole mind about the whole project afterwards.
So basically, Kristen was one of the main reasons you wanted to do it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, especially after the audition. I mean, I don't know. I just really liked it. I had no idea how to play it. I went in literally thinking I was just going to stand there and pose, because I just thought like the most important thing about this character, like the way I saw it at the beginning, was like just the way he looks, because there's so many descriptions saying he's so beautiful, he's so beautiful, he's so beautiful all the time. So I was just thinking like, well, I'll just try and look as pretty as I can. And that was my only idea when I was going in. And then after the audition, my mind changed about everything.
Right, thank you.